Well, nothing wrong with getting a little bit of sleep, is there? But I
Hmm.
want to hear more about this typhoon you said, right? Not hurricane, but typhoon.
Yeah, typhoon. They are born in offshore of Philippines always.
Hmm. Now, a typhoon, it's the same weather event as a hurricane, but I believe in Asia they're called typhoons, whereas in North America they're called hurricanes. Is that correct?
Yeah, the same. Hurricane are born some place Mexico, Peru, offshore of Peru or Mexico, I think.
Actually, it's off of Africa.
Ah, really? Mm-hmm.
Yes, really. Let me see if I can get you an image.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hurricanes. I'm just searching Google now. Hurricanes form off Africa. All right, let me just find an image here. Let's see here. This is a good image here. Just give me a second. All right. I've lost my screen. Where are you? There we are. So this shows the water temperature.
Mm-hmm.
We see Africa here. And what
Mm-hmm.
happens is tropical storms start off the coast of Africa, and as
Mm-hmm.
they come towards um, South America and North America, they start to turn into
Mm-hmm.
hurricanes. So they, as a tropical depression, tropical storm, hurricane, and of course, usually it's Cuba, Florida, most of the southern United States that gets hit with these
Mm-hmm.
things.
Yeah, it's very big problem always.
Yeah.
Typhoons, not as big as hurricane, I think. But the many typhoon is coming to Japan.
Well, there's been a lot of hurricanes lately as well. It creates a lot of damage.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
was there any damage after the typhoon came through?
Wind is the problem, but water, as it contains a lot of water, it's a big problem. We had a flood in the mountainside, and they caused landslide.
Hmm.
So Japan, we have narrow space, a very small country. So people are living in even mountainside or like that. So sometimes the mud covers the house. People die under the crushed house.
Uh, that's never fun. Thankfully, where I live, we don't get hurricanes very often.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe one in the last 100 years. It turns into usually 3 or 4 very rainy days, but usually not more than that. Maybe some
Mm-hmm.
light flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hi, this is a new class that I'm teaching, and it's called Headlines.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to the Firkin files.
Ah, yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's different. Instead of me picking the stories, what I do is I ask you and other students, right now it's just you,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in the world? What are their headlines? And if you can't think of anything, I
Maybe
recommend CNN.com or the BBC.com.
Ebola illness, disease.
The Ebola,
It's very big news nowadays.
is it? Why is it so big?
People already over 1,000 people already died, and nowadays people travel to Africa or any countries. Before appearing the symptoms, they already moved to other place. And then it means it expanded
How
widely.
many did you say have died?
Over 1,000. Yesterday I heard 1,013, but now I don't know.
And how do you contract Ebola?
So far, they don't have any medicine, effective medicine. So some Japanese nurse is part of Doctors Without Border or something. I'm not sure about English because we call it in Japanese. So Doctors Without Border or something, some group association. Then she went to Africa. She stayed at the place for 1 or 2 weeks. She fought against Ebola. Then she talked about that in Japanese TV.
Okay, but let me ask you a question, because I'm still not sure about this, but how do I catch Ebola? Is it like catching a cold? I only need to be within 5 or 10 feet. Do I have to touch somebody?
Yeah, touch somebody.
Okay.
You can't be infected by the air breathing, only touching. And if you have wound in your finger or hand, it can be into your body. Or, for example, why they spread around Africa? And their funeral, people tend to touch the dead body to greeting, to say bye to the body. Then they are crying, right? Then they scratch their eyes. Eye is very weak. From the eye, they infected. Many people are infected from such kind of tradition.
I heard, so apparently it's not airborne, but I did hear that Ebola is contracted through bodily fluids. So
yeah, at first they had some custom to eat bat. The bat has such virus.
well, it's terrible. Hi, somebody just joined. Do you want to say hello to a student of ours? A friend? Do you want to say hello to a student who has just joined us? You don't want to say hello. Okay, well, I'll say hello. Hi, Raphael.
Hello, Heidi. Hello, Simon.
Good to see you, buddy. And I see that somebody else has joined us, Raphael. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Hello, Edson.
Hello, Simon. Good afternoon.
Hi. Nobody's very friendly today. Come on, guys.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hello.
Good. How is life in Mexico?
Well, it's pretty good. Well, these days are too rainy for me, but it's okay. I'm having a good afternoon.
Well, we just talked a little bit about that right at the beginning. Hyde was the only person here. We were talking about weather and raininess and typhoons. And just so you guys know, this class is a new class that I'm offering. It's about headlines. These are news stories that are happening right now around the world, usually breaking news. I recommend going to CNN.com, BBC.com, all the major world news services if you're not aware of something. So we'll talk about that. Now, what I'm going to try to use today is the Verbling chat, so that way if students are watching, they can interact as well. So we then talked about Ebola, another happy topic, but over 1,000 people have died from Ebola. Have you guys heard about Ebola?
Yeah, I heard something
What
that
did you
it's like the major virus these days. It's killing a lot of people, and it's a lot of concern out there in scientists because they think this is going to be really big. But the other day also I was in, I don't remember the source, but what I read there that this may be some kind of virus made by men, but it's like a theory. I'm not sure if that's true. It's like this
I think
kind of,
it's what we might call a conspiracy theory.
yeah, exactly that. Actually, there's a book on Amazon. I think it's the bestseller now, and it talks about that Ebola. It says that it's true about Ebola, and it has like 300 ratings, like 4.5 out of 5. So I think it's pretty serious, maybe. But
Very
I don't
serious.
know. Yeah.
Now, if it had the ability to spread like the cold, well, we would have a massive outbreak in the world and a significant population decrease. But it's not as easy to catch as the cold. But when we live in densely populated areas, there is a concern that Ebola could become a big problem. Raphael, what do you think? Do you think Ebola is a big problem? Do you think it's worse than SARS?
I think because I think there aren't effective ways to control this this outbreak. The countries, especially in Africa, where it's happening, they admitted that they don't have enough capability to control this disease. They are asking for international support for trying to control this. And what impressed me is how fast it kills. You know, some people died in less than a week, I think. So it's really concerning, I think. And I think everyone must be aware about it.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Well, let's see what else is going on in the news. Raphael or Edson, because Hyde has already come up with 2 topics. Is there a topic you guys would like to discuss? Something that's breaking, something in the headlines?
Maybe suicide.
Would you be referring to the famous actor Robin Williams?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of concern about the way he died, because he seemed to be a really happy person, so nobody understands why.
I heard he was a very, very kind and good-natured person.
Yeah, and there's a lot to talk about him because I think he decided to kill himself. Well, I read this that it was because he started doing again alcohol. So, but he had been rehab for 20 years. He wasn't consuming any alcohol, and then he started again. So I think, well, that's what they said, that maybe that's why he killed himself. But
Hyde, what kind of drug is alcohol? Is it a happy drug?
it's a soft drug or
Yes, Hyde, thank you.
recreation. Ah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry, Simon.
Okay. Hyde, your thoughts. Robin Williams, death by suicide.
Yeah, I heard that news yesterday, but I don't know about him so much. I'm sorry.
Do you know what form of death it was, how he died?
Maybe I heard his name sometimes, but I'm sorry, I don't know about him.
No,
what
it was
he
asphyxiation. That's when suffocation, right? So
I don't.
Poor guy, troubled, very talented. You know, he was good on TV, good in movies. Seemed to be a good guy, but he experimented with a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. He kind of lived a hard life sometimes, but sadly, it came to an end yesterday. It's terrible news. Hey, Raphael?
Yes, yes. Really sad, I think. Well, but as I criticize, I don't believe actors and artists in general, they represent good examples for people, especially children. They don't spread the image, the right image of their lives. You know, they just perform. They are just characters, and they seem to be happy. They try to express happiness or to people, but when in fact they aren't happy. You know, they just I don't think they give good examples for people in general.
No, most of them don't. It's definitely a hard life, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't consider high life because they won millions of dollars. They have everything surrounding them. So they have money. They live in big mansions, and they gain lodging in the fanciest hotels and travel around the world. Everyone likes them, but I don't think it's a hard life. But I don't think they have psychological support, at least as they should have, because we have seen lots of actors and actresses killing themselves, committing suicide. Um, I don't know. Sometimes I try to figure out why, because I can't.
No, I'm not an actor. I don't have millions of dollars, so I don't know either. It's sad news. But no, let's take us on to a slightly different topic. This one isn't sad. It's more related to the environment. And I certainly like Hyde to comment on this. Have you guys heard of these, well, they look like meteor strikes happening in Russia, in Siberia? These massive craters. Have any of you guys heard of these craters in northern Russia?
Yeah, Siberia.
Siberia, yeah. What have you heard, Hyde?
Under the ground, that place contains a lot of gas, natural gas. So sometimes it had explosion. The pressure is getting higher and higher. Then the gas found some weak point of the ground. They had explosion.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. Certainly true. Okay, I want to show you guys one of these craters. It doesn't look real. It looks like something that's in a movie somewhere. We've all seen craters, especially there's one in the US that I think anytime they talk about a crater, they show us this one. And you'll see that the crater I'm about to show you is very strange indeed. Look at that. That's one of the craters in Russia, in Siberia. Edson, what do you think when you see this image? Does this look like a crater?
No.
What does it look like?
To me, seems like something fake. I don't know, because I can't see more, and maybe it's just a bad picture. But I don't understand, if there's a big hole and it's a major thing, why are you taking that kind of picture? So maybe that's why I think it's fake.
Well, it's actually real. It's 100 feet wide by about 200 feet deep.
That's crazy.
It looks like a gun chamber, doesn't it?
I don't know what that is.
Well, there's an article in CNN, and I'm not making this up, guys. This is in CNN, a U.S. online news agency, and forgive the language, but this is the title. Why is the Earth farting?
Okay.
All right. So that's, I guess, a funny way to sort of bring up the topic or get people to read it. But it's talking about these worrisome craters, and if you go to CNN, they talk a long time about these craters and why they're happening, apparently what they believe is happening. And I'd love to hear what Hyde thinks about this, and Joseph. The Earth is heating up. The permafrost, which is permanently frozen land, but due to global warming, it's heating up. And there's methane that's locked in the ground. It warms up and it escapes violently, creating this crater. There's 3 so far that they've discovered. Hyde, what have you heard about this? Maybe I've lost Hyde, or she's speaking on mute.
I'm sorry. before Siberia was covered by eternal ice, but it's melting. So they had a lot of discovery from the land. For example, mammoth bone. Mammoth, frozen mammoths, like they are still alive. They had flesh and hair, fur, all things. So,
yeah, it's basically a mammoth was a what? A woolly elephant, right?
yes. Hairy elephant, bigger than elephant.
Yeah, picture, guys, an elephant with hippie-style hair. Yeah, Joseph, have you heard of this? Maybe Joseph's on mute. So, it seems to be happening in Russia, not in Canada, which has a very similar environment. But recently, 3 new creators were found, and they were discovered, as we talked about, in the Siberian permafrost. The article says that the explanation is even more alarming than asteroid strikes. In the last 2 summers, the temperature has averaged 5 degrees Celsius hotter than normal. Methane, which is normally frozen, is not just thawing out or warming up and turning to gas, it's exploding. Think of it like chronic bad digestion, and this is where the article comes up and starts equating it to farting. Like bad digestion, it is ongoing. As the temperature continues to warm up, methane is releasing into the environment, and in Russia, it's doing so in a violent way. Why is this a bad thing? Can anybody tell me, Raphael or Joseph, I see you've come up mute. Why is this a bad thing?
I don't know if it is bad, because we need energy. How it's bad?
We do. That's good. Yeah.
I think it is not bad, but when this kind of disaster happens, maybe it seems bad. It seems bad.
Have you heard of global warming, Joseph?
Yes, here.
Which gas do they attribute to global warming?
Is dioxide, carbon?
Carbon dioxide, yes, CO2.
Yes.
Do you know how much more, I wouldn't say volatile, do you know how much more methane contributes to global warming than carbon dioxide?
Methane, I think it is not one of the main gases that produce global warming.
It isn't. It isn't.
The main gas that produces global warming is CO2.
You're right. CO2 causes it much more, contributes a lot more to global warming than methane, right? But now I'm talking this way. So we've got this much methane and this much carbon dioxide. Which one is worse when it comes to global warming? Do you know that?
I think CO2, because we generate tons of CO2 every day. Many factories also, or the cars which burns oil, they generate a lot of CO2.
Okay. I'm going to alarm you a little bit, and I'm not an alarmist. I'm just grabbing some information from the headlines, and what this article says is that, listen carefully here, airborne methane produces 86 times the heat-trapping greenhouse effect of carbon dioxide. I want to go to Raphael, who's been quiet for a while. Raphael, does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me because there is even a joke about this because Brazil has one of the biggest livestocks in the world, and you know what cows produce?
Methane.
And nothing, but their poop, it's full of methane, and they produce a lot. So there's a funny thing about, because Brazil, some people say Brazil is one of the biggest producers of methane in the world,
Well,
due to this.
They go on to say that although CO2 remains in the atmosphere for longer, after 100 years, which is more than I'll live, methane is still 30 times more potent. Now, we don't produce a lot of methane or natural gas. We get it from cows, but we burn things that create CO2. What's happening is CO2, because we're burning CO2 and because we're warming up the environment, it's warming up, and methane is releasing, and there's a lot of methane. Does anybody know how much methane there is?
I don't know.
Lots.
I'm not
Lots.
sure. But from the Earth, they already emit the methane gas in their air. And even animals, cows, emit a lot of methane gas.
Mm-hmm.
So some article said we should eat corn or something before the cows eating corn.
So should we kill all the cows?
Cows, yeah. The cows eat a lot of corn, and then they make methane gas. So it's very bad to our environment. Instead of eating meat, we should eat corn or some grains.
So you know what? Let's enjoy it while we've got a good Earth, right? We've only, the world didn't end in 2012. Well, maybe it's going to end in 2020 if we keep this up. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just being silly, right? Obviously, methane is a problem. That's what this article talks about. All right, let's pick a different topic. Who would like to pick the next topic? Anyone at all?
No,
I read
volunteer.
about the death of this actor comic. Robbie Williams.
Yes, we were just talking about him. What about him?
Well, I don't know why he committed suicide. It was a really funny actor. I like how he performed their movies, but it's for me. I can't believe he did that. I don't know why he committed suicide.
Okay. Would anybody like to address that? We talked about this a little bit earlier.
I don't think there are any other proofs about that he didn't commit suicide. I think every evidence. Every evidence points out that he committed suicide, I think.
Okay. Anybody have a different take or anything else they want to contribute to the discussion about Robin Williams? All right, well, not a lot of conversation there. All right, guys, we'll go on to a different topic then. Edson, you were about ready to say something. What topic would you like us to explore tonight?
Well, actually, I'm looking for something, but they're just like local news. So
What's going
there's
on
about
locally?
a mine in Mexico. Yeah, I just saw that it happened something in, I think it was in Texas, that some police officer killed a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
an 18-year-old boy, just because he resisted the arrest for nothing. But
Resisting arrest.
but the thing here, it's a big issue because he was a black guy, a black
Mm-hmm.
teenager. So they're saying that there's no proof that the police officer needed to shot his gun, but he did. So just because, how do you call this? Hate crime?
It might be a hate crime. It could be racially motivated. And what you said earlier, he fired his gun. He shot him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then I think, well, I don't know why is this so common, or isn't it? Um,
No, I
or
think it's pretty common. We're constantly shooting each other, killing each other. Um, Look at Rwanda. Look what's going on in the Ukraine right now. Look what happened during World War II with the Nazis and killing gypsies, Jews, and others. Look at, I mean, history's littered with people killing and torturing and people for various reasons. Fear, it seems to be part of our nature, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think here in Mexico, well, there's a lot of violence, of course. But
Hmm.
here in the city, when you find or you know about something that was shot, it's because he had also a gun or something like that.
Hmm.
But, well, I don't know. It could be that maybe some kind of cultural issue there.
It could be, could be. What do you guys think of this story? Have you heard about it? Hi, I haven't heard from you in a while. Have you heard of this story?
No.
Are there any racial tensions in Japan?
Yeah. We have. um, it's based on World War II. Japan integrated Korea, but actually, Korean government asked Japan to integrate their country. So Japanese government had a contract to unite both countries as Japan. That time, Korea was dominated by England or Chinese many times. So Japanese government once fought to China. Then they issued off from China, from that country. Then to urge to be independent to South Korea, but the government is not good. It was not good. So they asked to integrate Japan. But they hate that thing. After World War finished, they assaulted Japan. We had a contract to not complain what happened, about all things what happened in World War II. But we paid a lot of money, 2 years of national budget for South Korea. But after that, they brought out some problem about comfort women for militaries.
Hmm.
They said Japanese militaries kidnapped a lot of female from the South Korean local places. But it's not true. There are no evidence. Our conversation is like that. So before, several years ago, Japanese people loved South Korea. Many people went South Korea, but nowadays Japanese people hate South Korea. So this year, now we have holiday, summer holiday. It's no more popular that going to South Korea. Many people went to Thailand or Singapore or Italy or many places. Out of 10 most popular destination, South Korea is out of that. Before it was first.
Okay, so obviously Japan has issues as well. Joseph, what about in your country? Are there racial tensions?
No.
No. Just a short no. Well, what do you think about what's going on in other parts of the world?
Well, what in other parts like what other parts?
Well, did you not hear what Edson was saying and what Hyde were saying?
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, why don't you ask Edson? Maybe he can tell you a bit more about what the story was that started this conversation. Are you not interested in this conversation, Joseph?
Well, no, I don't know anything about it.
Okay. All right, Raphael. How about in your country? Do you have any tensions, racial tensions?
I don't want to say racial tensions, but at least some friction between some groups. Well, racism is a crime here. I think it's like in almost countries, but we don't have. I don't think it's. I don't think racism here is. How can I say? Huge or strong or big than like in other countries, as United States or some countries of Europe. But we had some problems about it, some local conflicts, but not really, nothing nothing with a huge approach or along with a huge consequence, I think.
So
Just
it's not a
local.
major burning issue then in your country?
No, hopefully not. We have problems, but not. It's not abroad. It's not as a whole. In the country, I think.
All right. Well, let's pick a different story now. And since Raphael, you've got the floor. What have you heard that's going on in the world right now? What's a breaking story? Something that's new?
Well, I don't see any good news. Just bad news, I think.
What kind of bad news? What else have you heard?
Things that we just talked in class about wars between Palestine and Israel and Ebola and
Well, hasn't there been
Ukraine, Russia. Sorry?
Isn't there a break in fighting right now between those two?
Yes, I think it has a 72-hour break, ceasefire. I don't think they're respecting the ceasefire. At least we're not seeing anything else so far. Let's hope that at least this ceasefire will to continue until the end, or at least it lasts longer.
Well, that would certainly be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes.
I think that this conflict has been going on too long.
I don't think so. I think they will be always fighting for, because they believe that they're home, and you know, and there are so many versions of history. We don't know what to believe. Palestinians have their version of the conflict, and so as Israelis. So,
But people keep dying, right? And that's a sad fact, is while politics are happening, people are dying.
yes, but I don't know. I don't think they are aware about it. I don't think they're really concerned. They just want. Unfortunately, what we see, at least in the news, is that people are supporting this. But I don't believe all of them are supporting. I think there are a few groups of their society, a few segments of their society in which that want to fight. I don't think everyone wants to fight. They want to at least have a fair living, at least have a basic life setting, because I think no one wants to fight. No one wants to sleep and wake up in the middle of the night with bombs exploding near their homes. I think they are not. So that's my point of view. But I'm not there, so who am I to say what they are thinking right now?
No, you're right, sir. I agree with you. Well, let's see what Joseph has to say. Joseph, do you want to talk about this news story, or do you have another news story that you would like to talk about?
Actually, I'm reading the news, but I have many newspapers, but I don't know what I can pick.
Well, whatever interests you. Now, Raphael said, "Oh, the news is bad." Well, I find that science news isn't always bad, that entertainment is sometimes good, where we talk about movies and TV shows. There is some good news. If you've got nothing you want to talk about, we can pass, but there's got to be something there you want to discuss. Something that's going on. Well, think about it. Let me go ask Edson, because Edson's pasted a link in the Verbling chat. Edson, what's that article about?
It's about the first female winner for Fields Maths medal. And, well, that medal is like the Nobel of Math. So that's why this is a big thing. And of course, because it's the first female of winning this. So maybe we can discuss why she's the first one. Because social issues, maybe discrimination against women, or what happened there?
I don't know.
What do you think,
Has
Simon?
anybody heard of this story? I saw the article, but I didn't read it. It was just, never heard of the title, so I just kept reading. But has anybody else heard of this?
Yes, I've heard. I think it's there was a Brazilian who won this prize also, and was the first Brazilian to win. So it was interesting.
Was it you, sir?
No, not yet. Maybe
No,
someday in the future.
Now, Edson and Raphael, I did read today about somebody that proved a 400-year-old proof. Apparently, it was 300 pages long. So mathematically, I kind of glanced at that and thought, it's kind of impressive, but not really. To me, unless it somehow furthers space exploration or it's a major discovery, to me, a math proof isn't that special. Although I did read an article couple of days ago about IBM, how they created a chip that mimics how the brain works. I thought that was rather interesting. But no, Edson, I don't know much about this. Whenever I see stories, obviously, the first time a person does something or is able to explore something, that's obviously noteworthy. And I hope someday we're able to explore the planets on foot. Hi, Joseph. You guys are being awfully quiet. Hi, and Joseph. I'm trying to get you two to speak. Who would like to speak? Who has something they would like to talk about?
Some article about Bitcoin. Last year, the Bitcoin was stolen. The Bitcoin is only data, not actual money. But in Japan, there was, I'm not sure, yeah, it already got bankrupt. So there was exchanging on, what's it, place in Japan.
Mount Gox, wasn't it?
Yeah, then someone stole the money, Bitcoin. So after that, that closed. Then I thought it already finished, but still, it's alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bitcoins. What do you think of that one, Joseph?
Bitcoins?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
You've never heard of Bitcoins?
No.
Wow. Okay, who wants to tell Joseph what Bitcoins are?
Bitcoin, we can use Bitcoin only internet to buy some.
It's online currency.
Not real coin. So on your computer data, you can accumulate Bitcoin. But it's very effective for some part of people. For example, money laundering or something, because you can use the money in any countries, no border.
Mm-hmm.
So American government warned about that because drug smugglers money laundering using Bitcoin.
But when I buy something on internet, I can use my credit card, but I don't use Bitcoins.
Well, guys, I actually made Bitcoins a little while ago. I was making money.
Really?
Yep, I had Bitcoin. I had miners. I was making Bitcoins in my house.
Really?
I was able to exchange them for Canadian currency after I'd made some. But yes, I was making Bitcoins.
But they say that it's really difficult to do them, right?
No, it's easy to do it. It just takes time and money.
Yeah.
So basically, I made 0.6 Bitcoins.
Yeah, but now how much money is that? Because now I don't know. I'm not informed, but I know that it's over $100, right? One single Bitcoin.
Well, I made about $70 after taking into account my equipment cost. I made about $70.
How do you do make coins? How do you make coins?
Well, it's kind of bizarre. All right, so I wanted to try it out. I thought, I don't know, let's look into this. So I went online and I bought some equipment. Think of this as a computer. It hooks into your computer. It's basically just has computer chips on it. Think of a video card, all right? So if you think of yourself having a video graphics card, that's what this is. It connects to your computer, and what it does is it just does a lot of math. And then every now and then it says, oh, here you go, I just made a Bitcoin. So what it does is it has some sort of very complex math equation it has to solve. And whenever it solves it, it generates a Bitcoin or a fraction of a Bitcoin, because you're doing it with other people in a pool. And whenever you generate one, you get some of that money.
Okay.
So after about 2 weeks, I had made 0.6 Bitcoins.
But you can use some kind of equation in your computer. You said that?
Yeah, that's correct. Now in Canada, it wasn't illegal to do it. Some countries it's illegal. After reading the news, I thought, well, maybe I should just get out of this. It doesn't seem like it's very stable. There's a lot of risks to it. And as you saw, Mt. Gox got hacked. So I got out. I made a tiny bit of money. Is it worth it? Well, $70 is better than $0, but no.
But you have some kind of software to make Bitcoin.
Yeah, you do have software that does it. Let me see if I can show you here. I've got another computer, and this is the server that I used to make it. Let's see here. Oh, it's coming alive. Let's see. Cancel, no. Cancel, yes. Close. Do I still have it on here? Let's take a look. Looks like I might have deleted it all. Nope, I deleted it already. Sorry, guys. I was going to actually show it to you. It's kind of cool. Just make sure. Oh, wait a minute. Did I? No, it doesn't look like it's there. You should have asked me this question months ago before I deleted it.
But but Simon, you can make Bitcoins without investing any money.
Oh yeah, and you can pull money out of your mouth too. No. You need to throw money at it to make money.
Okay.
But I don't recommend it. I tried it just to experience it because who else can say in their lifetime that they printed money legally? They made their own money.
You did.
I did. I can say that. I did it legally. I wasn't counterfeiting. I was making my own currency.
But you have to put money first.
Of course.
Well, sure, but that's with any business. You have to invest some money to be able to make some money.
You create these Bitcoins, you gain something or you don't gain nothing?
Well, I don't know. I think I was quite clear. I made $70.
And how much money do you invest?
As a profit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm rich now. In fact, this is my last class. I'm going to retire on my $70.
That's cool.
So,
if you were in Africa, really deep in Africa, maybe you can. Maybe you could.
well, you know what? If I had have gotten into this just about 1 year earlier, I could have made thousands. But it became too popular.
Yeah. What I hear is that because of the rating, because it's appreciating, it's how you say it. Well,
difficulty.
Yeah, it's big. 2 years ago, you bought pizza or something with Bitcoin, and it cost like 1,000 Bitcoins or something like that. And if you would save that amount of Bitcoins, now you probably will be rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Right?
Okay.
But, you know, at least it was an interesting experience, you know. And whenever I say, yeah, I made my own Bitcoins, people always go, what? Really? You did? Or, what's that? So, yeah, it was kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you were a miner.
I was a miner, yes, I was.
Now I can die in peace.
I had about, I think, 10 miners, 10 mining ASICs working for me.
It's cool.
And after about 3 weeks, I sold them. I didn't use them very much. I sold them to a gentleman and recovered back my fixed costs. And of course, then my 0.6 Bitcoins was my profit. And at the time, they were selling for around $1,200 US per Bitcoin. So I ended up with about $70.
Okay.
So there we go.
It's cool.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk to you guys about my classes. I'm starting to change them up a little bit. I don't have any tomorrow, as luck would be, but then I'm back on Thursday where we're going to be having a conversation again. We're going to talk about we're going to role play. We missed Raphael the last time around. Role play, we practice various scenarios such as opening bank accounts, calling up for support, booking a vacation, or having a problem while on a vacation. And we practice talking to different types of customer service people. Great, wonderful people that are always trying to help you. Other people like Raphael who, where if you find a snake in your bathtub, well, this is a good thing because that is our pet snake, the Zoo Hotel, right? Then we get to talk to really frustrating customer service reps because not only do I want to give you practice talking in these real world situations, I want you to get practice talking to different types of people because you'll notice the frustration will increase and it becomes difficult to talk to these people. Okay? On Friday, I have 2 classes. One is on icebreakers, and the other one is on headlines. Once again, a good way to end Friday. Icebreakers, when you're at work, if you're in a meeting, how do you kick things off? Do you jump right into it? Or do you have a little exercise that helps people relax, have fun, start smiling so they're ready to listen to what you have to say? Right? That's what icebreakers are about. But I want to know, what do you guys like learning the most? Which classes do you guys enjoy the most, whether I teach them or whether others teach them? What type of classes do you enjoy?
Role play.
Okay, Edson, so you like role playing. Anything else?
Writing.
You enjoy writing? Okay, I haven't offered any writing classes.
No, actually, they're pretty rare in Berlin.
It's probably because we can't get many students.
Yeah, I know. Every time I assist a writing class, there's only 3, maybe at the most.
Yeah. Well, what I try to do with my academic English classes, I try to encourage writing at the end when we get to discuss the article. I have students write their thoughts down, so that's how I address writing, is I try to incorporate it into other classes.
Okay.
What about you, Hyde? Which classes do you enjoy the most?
Talking about the news.
Okay, so you love the new headline classes then?
Yeah.
Okay, those are going to be a regular. And of course, academic English too. What about you, Joseph?
I like conversation classes.
All my classes are conversation classes. I'm trying to add more conversation, so whether it's academic English, this one, I usually try to have at least half the class where it's all pure conversation. So academic English, we read, we practice pronunciation, and then the last half of the class is all about discussion. So outside of conversation, are there any topics that you enjoy?
Yes, I like, for example, these questions about TOEFL-IBT.
Sorry, about?
You know TOEFL-IBT, the exam? There are questions.
TOEFL.
Yeah, TOEFL.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I could actually look at setting up a TOEFL class.
There are 2 questions to express your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
First and 2. Maybe you can do that.
Okay. All right. right, I'll look at doing that. And Raphael, which classes or class subjects, topics do you enjoy the most?
Grammar.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to start bringing more grammar classes back. I have a ton of grammar lessons. It's just, I always think students don't want to do it. Is there a grammar topic you would like?
Well, especially past. I hate past. You know, when I try to differentiate past simple, past perfect, past simple, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. I have some difficulties when I try to create sentences using past.
Have you ever noticed how I like to practice talking in the past when we have these classes?
Yes, yes.
There's a reason for that. All right, let me see. How are you with the present perfect?
I think I'm okay. Present perfect. No, present perfect. No. Present. I'm also in problems with that. Troubles.
What about the present perfect progressive?
So.
Okay, so I tell you what, let's, because I haven't done grammar in a while, for next week, I don't know why I only have one class next week. So grammar, or let's, present. Okay, I haven't really written much yet, but let's just say we'll call this, let's see, grammar, present perfect, intermediate, general. It's not conversation. Topics would be grammar. Let's see. Now, the reason I'm kind of talking it to myself here is I'm actually creating the class right now. Okay, so next week we have the present perfect as a grammar class.
Okay, thanks.
And I'm going to start doing more. I'm going to try to do one grammar class a week, and I kind of like it too because it keeps me on my toes. But guys, I've ran 2 minutes over. My apologies. I like to keep classes on time, both starting and finishing. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I will see you hopefully back Thursday, and send me more ideas because that's what I will do. I'm here to teach what you guys want to learn.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon.
Bye.
Very well.